Hello everyone, I am Dr. Suchita Nimbalkar. Up till now in various videos we already discussed about domestic water treatment or the municipal water treatment. In that case we already discussed about the screening, sedimentation, coagulation, then the filtration, sterilization. After that we already discussed about the boiler trouble. As we know that there are 4 different boiler trouble. First was carryover, then caustic embrittlement, third was the boiler corrosion, and fourth boiler trouble is scale and sludge formation. Now why our boiler comes in trouble? If suitable water is not fed into the boiler, then our boiler comes in trouble. So which are the requirement of boiler feed water? First is its hardness should be below 2 ppm. Its caustic alkalinity should be below 15 ppm. Its soda alkalinity should be below 1 ppm, and it should be free from silica, oil and dissolved gases. So what we have to do? We need to pass water for the different treatment before feeding into the boiler. So there are different steps we have to taken. First is the external treatment. Means externally we have to pass that water for the different treatment, and then we need to fill that water into the boiler. So before enter that water into the boiler, we need to pass that water for the different treatment, and so it is known as external treatment. But sometime what happens, some salts may present as it is into the water. So what we have to do? We need to add some chemicals into the boiler, and that is known as internal treatment. Means after external treatment, if some impurities, some salts are present into the boiler, so it is also dangerous for our boiler. So what we have to do? We need to do some treatment internally into the boiler, that is known as internal treatment. But sometime what happened, after this internal treatment, the large number of soluble salts get converted into the insoluble salts. So and due to the steam formation, what will happen? The concentration of salt will be increases. So again we can say that it is very difficult for our boiler, means our boiler may comes in trouble. So what we have to do? We need to throw that water which contain the high percentage of or the high concentration of salt, and that process is known as blow down. Means in blow down, high concentrated salted water we need to throw down, and we need to again fill that boiler by the fresh water, which one is carried out by the external treatment. So first we are going to discuss about the external treatment. To remove scale formation and the corrosion causing constituent, the following steps are taken. The first step for the external treatment is removal of suspended impurity. Now whatever the suspended impurity is present into the water, we can just pass that water through the screen, so that suspended impurities or the floating material can be removed out. Again the another step is there, we can pass it for the sedimentation, coagulation and the filtration. So what do you mean by sedimentation? We already discussed in the domestic water treatment. What do you mean by sedimentation? We just have to stay water as it is for some duration. So whatever the suspended particles are there, it will settle down at the bottom. Simultaneously, we have to pass that water for the coagulation purpose also. Means if some colloidal particles are there, so by addition of coagulant, what will happen? That colloidal particles get settled down at the bottom, and after that we can just remove out the upper layer of the water, which one is free from the suspended particles and the colloidal impurity, and then we can pass that water for the filtration also. Means in this way the first step of external treatment is carried out, that is the removal of suspended impurities. Then the second step is the softening. There are different methods of softening. Now, hard water, in which some hardness causing salts are present. Now, we know very well that there are two different types of the hardness, temporary hardness and the permanent hardness. Out of that, temporary can be easily removed out by boiling, but permanent cannot. So what we have to do to remove out that hardness causing salt, or to make that hard water into soft water? For that purpose there are different processes. We can say that lime soda process, zeolite process and the ion exchange process. These are the different methods or the processes by which we can soft that water. Means hard water may convert into the soft water by these processes. We will discuss this process later on in detail. Now this is the equipment by which we can just carry out the different softening methods. Then the third one is the removal of silica. We know very well that silica is very dangerous. If the silica is present into the water, then scale formation is there. Scale means PPT which one is formed, that is forming a adherent coating internally to the boiler, and scale is more dangerous than the sludge. So what happened and what we have to do? Small quantity of silica is not objectionable in the low pressure boiler, but in high pressure boiler that scale formation cannot be prevented by internal treatment also. So we need to add some substances into the water. So silica must be removed by external treatment, and for that purpose we need to add magnesium oxide, sodium aluminate, iron sulfate, and we know very well that iron sulfate, sodium aluminate, these are nothing but the coagulant which when we add into the water they are giving you the flock. If we are adding MgO means magnesium oxide, it is giving you magnesium hydroxide. Sodium aluminate gives you aluminium hydroxide, and sodium sulfate gives you iron hydroxide, means the ferrous hydroxide. So these are the sticky flock which entraps the colloidal particle, or here we have to remove out silica particles. So they entraps the silica particles and settle down at the bottom. You can see this by this picture. Whatever the silica particles are there, they get entrapped by the flock and finally they get settled down at the bottom. So we can remove out silica. Then the next stage or the step of the external treatment is removal of dissolved gases. Now we know very well that dissolved gases can be removed out mechanically by deaerator. So we already discussed about the deaerator. In this deaerator we need to heat the water, and at that time what will happen, at the certain pressure, at that time whatever the dissolved gases are there, it become unstable and we can easily remove out dissolved gases. So these are the different steps. Along with that, the last step is there, that is the removal of oil. Now sometime oil is may present into the water, and oil is nothing but the fatty acid. So what happened exactly? Acid is responsible for the corrosion. So it is very important to remove out oil, and for the removing of that oil we can use the mechanical method, that is the settle down mechanically. We can settle down mechanically this oil, and due to that we will get oil free water. Means we can remove out the different types of the impurities. We can remove out suspended impurity, we can remove out colloidal impurity, we can remove out silica, even we can remove out gases and the oil by the external treatment. After carrying out all the external treatment, we need to pass water into the boiler, and then if whatever the salts are present into the water, and if they are responsible for the trouble, so what we have to do, we need to pass that water for the internal treatment. Means internally into the boiler we need to add something. Now everybody is aware about the scale and sludge, because in the last video we already discussed about the scale and sludge, and we know very well that scale are more dangerous than the sludge. Why scale are more dangerous than the sludge? Sludge is nothing but the muddy PPT, so we can easily remove out it. But scale is forming a adherent coating internally to the boiler, and due to that what will happen? Boiler loses or decreases its efficiency. So what we have to do? We need to pass water for the internal treatment. As we know that scales are always harmful than the sludge. So in order to prevent scale formation inside the boiler, such conditions are to be created inside the boiler which promote sludge formation but prevent scale formation. Means we need to add such a chemical into the boiler so that sludge can be formed but we can prevent scale forming salts. Creation of such condition in boiler with the help of some chemicals is called internal treatment of boiler feed water. So external treatment means we need to pass water for the different processes and externally, so it is known as external treatment. But whatever the dissolved salts are present, they may present into the water. Then what we have to do? Here no option is here, only scale and sludge formation will be there. So what we have to do? We need to suppress scale forming salt and prefer sludge forming salt, and due to that the process by which we can suppress scale forming salts and prefer sludge forming salts, that is nothing but the internal treatment of the boiler feed water. So there are different types of internal conditioning. First is the carbonate conditioning, second one is phosphate conditioning, third is Calgon conditioning, and the fourth type of conditioning is the colloidal conditioning. Now one by one we are going to discuss about the different internal conditioning. First is the carbonate conditioning. Now in this method, particularly I think you know very well that there are two different types of the boiler, low pressure boiler and the high pressure boiler. Low pressure boiler means pressure is below 10.9 kg per centimeter cube, whereas if the pressure is above 10.9 kg per centimeter cube, we can say that it is the high pressure boiler. Now what happened exactly in the low pressure boiler? When the if that water is saturated with CaSO4 or the CaCO3. Now out of these two salts, which salt is responsible for scale and which one is responsible for sludge? We already discussed in the last video that CaSO4 is responsible for the scale, because it is giving you after precipitation, after hydrolysis, whatever the PPT is formed, it is very dangerous. It giving you adherent coating internally to the boiler. So what we have to do here? If the CaSO4 and CaCO3 is present into the water, we need to suppress the salt, that is CaSO4. Why? Because that is responsible for the scale, whereas we can prefer CaCO3. Why? Because that one is responsible for the sludge. Sludge means what? It is muddy PPT which can be easily removable. Now the product of concentration of ion is nothing but the ionic product are called solubility product, and you already discussed it in your last year, means in the 12th. You know very well about the solubility product, ionic product, even you know very well about the common ion effect, and here the same thing we have to do. Now if we are having CaCO3 and CaSO4, so how we can dissociate it? CaCO3 gives you Ca2 plus and CO3 2 minus, whereas CaSO4 gives you Ca2 plus ion and the SO4 2 minus ion. So solubility product of CaSO4 we can write like this, and solubility product of CaCO3 we can write like this. Then if we need to maintain the ratio of CO3 2 minus is greater than SO4 2 minus, means in this case what we have to do? We need to increase the percentage or the concentration of CO3 2 minus. So what we have to do, we need to add such a salt which contains CO3 2 minus ion, means common ion effect. So which salt we need to add? We need to add sodium carbonate into the water. Sodium carbonate, after dissociation we will get sodium ion and CO3 2 minus, means in this way concentration of CO3 2 minus get increased by addition of sodium carbonate. Now what happened exactly? As we know that Ca react with CO3 2 minus, it is giving you CaCO3, and whatever the CaSO4 dissociated product is formed, Ca2 plus and SO4 2 minus, out of that SO4 2 minus get react with the Na positive, and instead of CaSO4 again we will get here Na2SO4. Now what happened exactly? By adding Na2CO3 we can form CaCO3 and Na2SO4, means just we have to suppress CaSO4, and that can be possible only when we are adding common ion salt. So here we need to add sodium sodium carbonate, and due to that we will get sodium sulfate, and sodium sulfate is not responsible for any type of hardness. And CaCO3, which one is formed here, that one is in the form of sludge, means the muddy PPT. So we can easily remove out it by the filtration. Now but this all thing is take place in the low pressure boiler. But what happened in the high pressure boiler? In high pressure boiler, whatever the sodium ions or sodium carbonate is there, that sodium ion react with the water, and due to that NaOH formation is there. And we know very well about the boiler trouble. Out of that 4 boiler trouble, the second boiler trouble was the caustic embrittlement, and we already discussed in the caustic embrittlement that NaOH, which one is formed due to the dissociation of Na2CO3 into the water, that NaOH enter into the minute pores and the hair cracks, and when the percentage of NaOH is increases up to 10% or it reaches up to 10%, then caustic embrittlement will be there, means our metal become brittle. Means here due to the formation of NaOH our metal become brittle, so that is known as caustic embrittlement. But when this caustic embrittlement is take place, if our boiler is high pressure. In low pressure boiler, no NaOH formation is there, directly Na2 plus ion react with SO4 2 minus. But in high pressure boiler, due to high pressure and high temperature, that Na2CO3 means or dissociated form of Na positive hydrolyze and it convert into the NaOH, and so carbonate conditioning is not preferred in the high pressure boiler. We can prefer carbonate conditioning in the low pressure boiler. Why? Because NaOH causes caustic embrittlement in high pressure boiler. Now the second one is the another conditioning, that is the phosphate conditioning. So what we have to do, instead of carbonate conditioning we need to prefer for the phosphate conditioning. What do you mean by phosphate conditioning? For example, we can say that in case of carbonate conditioning, if we consider solution saturated with calcium phosphate and calcium sulfate. Now out of these two, again we know that CaSO4 is responsible for the scale, and what we have to do, we need to suppress scale. So obviously here we need to add such a substance which having similar ion, means the PO4 by 2 means the phosphate ion. So again in this case we have to add sodium phosphate. So again same thing is here, that calcium sulfate and the calcium phosphate dissociate like this, and then what we have to do, we need to increase the percentage of phosphate, and for that purpose we need to add sodium phosphate in the water. Now this calcium phosphate will precipitate out. Hence, what will happen? CaSO4 scale will be retained. Means CaSO4 we need to suppress by formation of Ca3PO4 by 2, means the calcium phosphate, by adding sodium phosphate. Now there are different phosphates. For example, we can see here the different reactions. Na3PO4 react with CaCO3, it will gives you calcium phosphate and Na2CO3. Along with that, carbon dioxide and water is formed. Then the another phosphate is Na2HPO4. In this case again we will get calcium phosphate and sodium carbonate. Along with that, carbon dioxide and water is formed. In third case, NaH2PO4, we will get calcium phosphate and sodium carbonate. Again, along with that, carbon dioxide and water form. Then NaPO3, in this case again calcium phosphate and sodium phosphate is formed. Now, instead of this CaCO3, if we take CaSO4, then calcium phosphate plus Na2SO4 is formed. Means in this way we can suppress CaSO4. Which one is responsible for the scale? So what is the main aim of internal conditioning? Suppression of scale forming salt and preferring the sludge forming salt. Why sludge forming salts we can prefer? Because it is loose muddy PPT which can be easily removable. So the third conditioning is the Calgon conditioning. Up till now we discussed the two conditioning. First was the carbonate, second was the phosphate. Carbonate conditioning is work only in low pressure boiler, and in high pressure boiler, instead of carbonate conditioning we have to prefer phosphate conditioning. Why? Because carbonate conditioning, if we are using carbonate conditioning in high pressure boiler, in that case what will happen? Caustic embrittlement will be there. To avoid caustic embrittlement, we have to use phosphate conditioning. Now the third conditioning is the Calgon conditioning. Now Calgon is the common name for the sodium hexametaphosphate. So in this particular method, sodium hexametaphosphate is added into the water. It combines with calcium ions of the hard water by forming the complex. Now in this particular compound, sodium hexametaphosphate, whatever that Na2, Na ions are there, they are loosely connected to that Calgon compound. So what happened exactly? That Na positive is removed out. In this way, this particular reaction gives you the idea that which Na ions are loose and how it will be removed out. So we have to just, after addition of this sodium hexametaphosphate into the water, and if that water contain calcium salts or the magnesium salts, means the hardness causing ions, so these sodium ions get replaced by the calcium or the magnesium ions. So we will get soluble stable complex of that calcium hexametaphosphate. And so this is the soluble stable complex. We can't no any calcium ion is present into the water, which one is react with SO4 and the formation of CaSO4 will be there. Why? Because if the CaSO4 is present into the water, it dissociate into Ca2 plus and SO4 2 minus, and that Ca2 plus will react with the sodium hexametaphosphate, and due to that calcium hexametaphosphate will be formed, and that is soluble stable complex. So no any calcium is left here for the formation of CaSO4, and due to that no scale formation will be there. Due to the formation of such compound, no free calcium ions will be left for the formation of CaSO4, and this prevent the formation of compact scale of CaSO4. Now the fourth conditioning or the internal treatment is the colloidal conditioning. In low pressure boiler, scale formation can be prevented by adding some colloidal substances. We know that, like lignin, tannin, glue, agar-agar, starch, etc. What happens exactly? When we add these substances into the water, this gives you the flock. which entraps the colloidal particles. These substances get coated over the scale forming salts. Means instead of colloidal particles, we can say that whatever the salts are responsible for the scale formation or that particles get coated by these substances. So no any free substance will left there which is responsible for the scale formation, and due to that we can suppress scale forming salt and we can prefer sludge forming salt, and that is the internal treatment. Now after internal treatment, what will happen? Some concentration of the salt will be increases. Why? Because in the boiler continuously water converted into the steam, and obviously due to that the concentration of salt will be increases. So after some time more concentrated salted water will left into the boiler. So what we have to do? We need to remove out that water or replace that water by the fresh water. This blow down or the blow off, also OFF, it is one of the method to prevent scale formation in which it becomes saturated with salt, and boiler is again filled with fresh water. This process may be done periodically. Means after some time we have to remove out that water and again we need to fill the boiler by the fresh water. So this is about the different treatments of water. Thank you very much.